Hello, my name is AJ. I'm your HYPOXiX coach for today, and we have level 1.2 HYPOXiX plank. This exercise is performed in a quadruped position on the ground on your knees. If you need something for underneath your knees, please grab that now, and let's begin. If you can't get down to a kneeling position because of joint restriction or pain, you can always stand up and perform this against a wall where you're simply just placing your hands on the wall in a modified plank. If you're working with a HYPOXiX coach, they can make those modifications for you. And as always, if your coach is prescribing you a different breath or resistance or reps or sets, you always want to follow that because that is there to optimize your program based on your assessment. Make sure you stay connected to your ab ribbon the entire time. Let's begin. In our quadruped position, our knees are about sit bone width apart. Our hands match the width of the knees, about sit bone width apart. Now here, we are screwing our hands externally into the ground actively so that if the floor were slippery, those hands would turn out just like that. That's tying us into our shoulder rotator cuff. The knees are also squeezing together, so if the floor were slippery, the knees would come together just like this. So find that squeeze, squeeze. Now simultaneously, I'm also pulling my knees and my hands together. So if the floor was slippery, they pull down this way. So a lot of ground resistance we're using, so practice it. We're screwing the hands externally, we're squeezing the knees together, and then we're pulling everything together at the same time. That's a lot of ground resistance. So I know it seems like a simple quadruped, but quite a lot goes into creating that resistance necessary to optimize the exercise. Now you want to find your neutral spine. You don't want to be here. You don't want to be overly tucked. Somewhere in between the two. And again, a HYPOXiX coach can help you assess your neutral spine. Now here, ground resistance. The eyes are going to be closed the entire time for this exercise to find that connection with your ab ribbon, connect with that breath, and you're also pressing your head back into an imaginary hand behind your head and also lifting up. There's that HYPOXiX head stance. Okay, so we're screwing the hands, we're pulling the hands down toward the knees, we're pulling our knees together. Feel that now. We do have 4 breath cycles here, and we're adding in our level 2 breathography, 2-beat breath retention. So we're loosening your ab ribbon on the 8-second engaged exhale, and we're keeping it loose on the breath retention. Okay, if you're going to focus on 2 components to begin, focus on that connection with your ab ribbon, your breath, and making sure that your low back doesn't move. So closing your eyes will help tap you into that interoception necessary, which is simply a fancy word for what are you feeling in your body? You know, where is your body in space? So let's screw the hands into the ground, pull them down toward the knees, squeeze the knees together, head back and up. You're creating length in the spine. Find that neutral spine. Let's take it from our zip up posture prep. Inhale. Hiss, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1. Inhale 2. Loosen your ribbon. Hold the breath for 1, 2. Fill the ribbon. Inhale. Inhale. Drain the air. Push it out. Hold the breath for 1, 2. Now tighten the ribbon. Inhale. Inhale. Drain the air. Hold 1, 2. And inhale. Inhale. Drain the air, hold 1, 2, and finish. Really nice work. Now, one extra point that you can layer on when you become more skilled at the exercise is shoulder blades. Make sure that the shoulder blades aren't sinking together, but they're actually pushing all the way apart. You're optimizing that, a muscle called the serratus anterior, where you're optimizing that like end point that you'd be in a push-up, which is healthy for the shoulder blades. So add that in when you're ready. Really nice work.